Hi there, I'm Lisa Arana, and I'd like to welcome you to another Assemble This video. I'm back today with more Winnie the Pooh inspiration. Join me as I assemble this card with Copic coloring, fun pattern papers, and a cute tag layout. I have my stamps, dies, and papers all set to go. I have Pooh and Piglet from the stamp set by Unity Stamp Company called Difficult Days. And I've placed them in my mini Misty, and I'm going to stamp them with some Gina K amalgam ink. I'm like this ink, it can be used for watercolor or Copic marker coloring, so it tends to be a go-to for me. I do need to stamp it a couple times just because this ink pad is not as juicy as some of my other ones, so it just takes a couple stamps in the Misty, which makes it super easy since it's always in the right spot to restamp. Next, I'm pulling out some of my Copic markers, and I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. I do have quite a few coloring videos on my channel if you're interested. I'm using Y11 and Y21. I just did a base layer of Y11 all the way around, and then I'm just going to draw a line of shadow using Y21. And then just blend that out with my Y11. And I keep repeating that process, kind of layering things up, so I get a nice contrast between the two shades and our little Pooh character kind of comes to life. And then next up I'm going to do Piglet. This is my first time with him, so I'm not really sure about my color combo, but it worked out fairly well. I'm using R20 and then R32 and R24. This time I started out with the shadow first, using the R32, just drawing the lines of that shadow and then coming in and blending it out with R20. I'm adding the stripes to Piglet's little shirt with R24. And then I thought I'd add just a little bit more of a shadow definition by adding a little bit of that R24. And then I blended that out with R32. And that kind of got a little bit heavy-handed, so I might skip that the next time. Next, I moved on to the butterflies, and I'm using a combination of B colors, B23, B34, B95, and then B39. And just making the center of the butterflies darker, and then the actual wings of the butterfly a lighter blue. And I'm just going back and forth, filling in those areas with just some very simple coloring. No real shading going on, though in those centers I am adding just a little bit of a darker spot, and then the body of the butterfly I'm trying to make a little bit darker as well. What's great about these cartoony like characters and stamps is that you don't have to get too complicated with your coloring. And then for the grass, I used another one of my favorite color combos, YG63 and YG67, and just following the lines of those flowers and the grass blades and filling that in with the two tones of green. And then you don't want to forget those flowers, so I'm doing the centers to kind of match my pattern paper. I used a shade of E31 and then went over it with Y18. And then I want the flowers to be white because again it matches my pattern paper, so I'm just adding a hint of gray, which is C0, to the petals. It just makes the white pop a little bit more so it's not so flat. And then I do want a bit of a shadow around these little guys, so I'm using a B000 and just creating a sky. And here they are all colored in with just some really simple coloring. Next, I have my card base covered in some pattern paper, and then I die cut out this cute scallop tag. The paper is from Bee Bliss by Honeybee. And then I did a smaller layered tag from vellum. The dies are from Unity and it's called Make a Tag dies. And I'm just going to use that smaller tag to frame out Pooh and Piglet. And I'm using the sentiment to kind of gauge where I want to place the die. I do plan to pop these guys up on the vellum, so I'm just going to trim around the scene, and I'm going to leave the bottom shape of that tag whole, so it'll go across the whole line of the bottom of the tag, and then they'll pop against that vellum. So I just need to trim these guys out. I did leave a little bit of a border, so that's why I wanted there to be a bit of a sky behind them. And then next I'm going to pop up that large tag onto my card base at a little bit of an angle, just thought that would be fun. And then I'm just kind of seeing where the placement on my vellum tag will go and how Pooh and Piglet look on the front there. Just going to pop them up on the bottom of the vellum tag. And then you might notice I have a sentiment already embossed in white on that vellum tag, and I'm not really happy with it. It really disappeared. So I decided to create a banner instead. I got a strip of white cardstock, and I'm just going to die cut that out so it fits the shape of my tag. And I did pull out one side because I wasn't sure how long I wanted it to be, so I didn't want to cut off both sides, though it would have worked out just fine. And then next I have the sentiment from this cute sentiment kit called Sending a Happy Hello. It's just a happy birthday sentiment, but I love the fonts. And then I trimmed that down, and I'm just going to notch out the end with my scissors and create a little banner. But I love that the one side is shaped perfectly to the vellum tag. And then I'm just going to pop that up over my oopsie so you don't really see the old embossed sentiment. Next, I'm going to glue that directly onto my card front, and I'm just going to use some liquid glue and hide it behind the cutout of Pooh and Piglet and my sentiment. And just tap that down so it adheres nicely to the front of my card. And then last, just to add a little bit of sparkle and shine and to kind of pull in the blue from the background of that cute daisy paper, I'm adding some sequins in clear and a real kind of clear blue tint sequin. And here is the finished birthday card with our cute Piglet and Pooh friends. I love the sweet pattern papers, the layered tags, and the way Pooh and Piglet are framed in the little vellum tag. The sequins add just the right amount of sparkle too. As always, I'll have all the supplies linked in the description of this video on my Dollhouse Designs YouTube channel and blog. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Plus, if you have any questions or a sweet comment, post below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you were inspired and that I'll see you next time. Bye.